Before the outbreak of World War II, the Poles adopted really one of the most elegant handguns in 9mm that would see service during World War II, and that gun is called the Radom.
So in the 1930s, Poland is looking for a new military sidearm. And initially, the Polish military contracted with the Czechs, with CZ specifically, to produce the VZ-24 on a contract basis. Two designers at FB Radom, Piotr Wilniewczyc and Jan Skrzypinski, were men that were aware that the Polish government was planning to outsource production of its military sidearm to CZ. They were going to adopt the VZ-24. And they both thought that this was a bad idea. They felt that Poland should have its own military handgun design. They had a factory. FB Radom was an existing factory at the time, and they knew they could build a gun. They just weren't quite sure what it was going to be. But they knew that they wanted to stop this acquisition process before it really started. So what they did is they submitted a really rough kind of sketch of a design that looked very reminiscent of another handgun design that we're all familiar with, which was the U.S. model of 1911, designed by John Moses Browning.
They added a couple of twists of their own. Like it had basically no safety, but it had a hammer drop. It had controls for both hold open and for takedown. 9mm parabellum. Superb piece. You have to remember, Poland for centuries was a non-country, and then all of a sudden, after World War I, they said, "Here you go, go for it." So they decided to come up with their own firearms industry. They developed a firearms plant at Radom. They made long arms, and then came up with this wonderful, wonderful pistol.
They produced the pistol up until the time the Germans marched into Poland in September 1939. They make about 49,000 pistols. The Germans come in, as they do throughout Europe. They take over all the arms manufacturing, start producing the same firearm for the German service. They rename it, and during the course of the war, the Germans produced 300,000 of these. While it's being produced during the war, some of the patriotic workmen there start stealing parts, and they're producing pistols for the Polish resistance that's going to take off in the Warsaw Uprising in 1944. Well, the Germans get wind of this, and they decide, no, we'll just produce parts pistols, and we'll send the parts as a package to Steyr, where they're making the barrels. They'll put the whole pistol together, so you won't have pistol barrels here in Poland.
The pre-war Radoms, the 50,000 that were made before the war, gorgeous guns, high polished blue, real nice roll stamp markings on them. The grips are very sharp and clear, the plastic grips. And then you have what happened after 39, and originally they started to maintain that level of professionalism in their quality control. But as the war dragged on, the level of bluing went to black phosphate, went to just phosphate. The plastic grips turned into wood grips. Checkering just turned into a number of lines like on a C96 broom handle. The gun visibly deteriorated as far as quality control and manufacturing.
After the fall of the Soviet Union in the 1990s, Poland regains its ability to control what its domestic military factory produces. And it decides that it's going to start producing VZ-35s again. And so In the early 1990s, you have some limited runs, and then by 1997, they've really started reintroducing it, and by 2017, they are regularly producing Vs-35s for the commercial market. And so the Vs-35 is one of those pre-war handgun designs that really has seen some incredible longevity.